Hi, good evening. Austin Mayor Steve Adler. Boy, it is cold outside, and it looks like it's just going to get colder. We're going to talk about the cold weather. We're going to talk about shelter in cold weather. We're going to talk about the vaccines. We're going to talk about some second dose information. But as always, we're going to begin with the numbers that seem to be generally continuing to improve. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to begin with the slide that we look. It's the key indicator slide. We'll begin with that. And you can see the first number we always look at, 7-day moving average, 47, continues to come down. We have solidly crossed the line from red into orange. We need this line here at 47 to continue moving down. The stage area will take us into yellow. If we can get down to 30, drop from 47 to 30, the models have us doing that. We can take a look at the model in just a second and see when that estimates that we'll be able to get there. 49 tonight, which was a little bit higher than the 7-day moving average in new cases. But the number continues to come down. Remember, the 9.4 was an earlier number. Looks like it was really 9.9, but even that was great to see that it was coming under 10. Number of new cases today, 279, which is lower than the 7-day moving average. That's really good. Yesterday, we had 287 new cases. That number seems to be coming down, which is good, because if this number stays low, then the admissions stay low. If admissions stay low, then ICUs and ventilators stay low as well. You can see where we were in the summer. You can see the peak we just went through. You can see us coming back down. All right, let's go to the next dashboard, the Austin Travis County dashboard. Let's see if we can share the screen. Get us over to that tab. You should be able to see that now. You can see the total number of new cases up to 73,538. Number of people that have passed away, 710. That's 6 more than yesterday. Up to 710. Boy, it wasn't that long ago we were under 500. The pace of mortalities grew during that spike. And again, that's going to be the last number that begins to really drop for us. 372 in the hospital tonight. The 7-day moving average, 419. So you can see that's moving in the right direction. 36 of the 372 are the alternate care site at the convention center. ICUs, 111. The 7-day moving average, 127. Now just above half of that 200 level that we were able to avoid. Community did a great job of setting that number back down. Ventilators, 72, the 7-day moving average, 86. So you can see that all those numbers are now pointed, generally speaking, in the right direction. So we're appreciative of that. We're going to take a look now at the dashboard from the University of Texas. Let's get to the StreamYard. We're going to share the screen, get to the Austin dashboard. This is the University of Texas modeling that we see here. R factor at 0.74 right now. Let's make sure that's the most recent one, and it is. This is good. Remember, at one point we were up at like over 1.5 when we were at that peak. Now down to 0.74. Anything below 1 is a good number to see. And in that 95% confidence range, we're somewhere between 0.59 and 1.03, which means that we're 95% confident that the epidemic is going down. You can see hospital admissions. The green dots are the actual numbers. The green line is to the right is what the model is showing us. And you can see this just changes the scale for the model so that it's easier to see, this is admissions, hospital admissions. You can see how the number's moving. Let's come on down here to hospital admissions. Let's take a look at that 7-day moving average. You can see the number that takes us into the yellow stage would be when we get below 30. Here's the 30 line, and if you take that across, it looks like we could get below 30 before the end of the month right now. Maybe in the last week of February, maybe that takes us back down to the yellow zone. Yellow zone different than the orange zone. In the yellow zone, you're no longer limited to just essential travel. So let's see if we can continue to do that and continue to push down this number. We get to the stage below that, if we can drop below 10 to get even below the yellow level. But let's focus on getting this by the end of the month so that we get below the 30 numbers. It's really, here's 30 on March 1st, and that's really the number that we're looking at. So we want to get maybe the first week in March, actually, well, the very end of February. Let's see if we can push to be able to get that done. Let's talk about some of the news. Obviously, the cold weather here is kind of the dominant issue for us. It's having impact on everybody in our community. People are urged to stay home. We had some really big multiple car crashes. There was one up in Dallas involving well over 100 cars, and I think 6 people passed away, died. Please stay home if you can. Stay off the roads. It's cold, it's icy, and they're predicting it's only going to get even more extreme with the weather that's coming up. We also have people that are experiencing homelessness. You can imagine being outside and being in a tent in this weather. We need to help get those folks better shelter. We have folks in our city that are losing power. What happens is that the ice forms up on the tree limbs. It causes the tree limbs branches to break. They fall down on the lines, causing the lines to collapse or break. And then there's a disruption in power, creates really unsafe condition for some of those live lines to be on the ground, creates an unsafe condition for the people that are having to go out to fix them. Every one of the Austin Energy crews out right now fixing lines in this weather, cold, in these dangerous situations. Thank you to those folks for doing that. Apologize and sorry if you are without power right now. I promise you everything's being done to try to get power reinstalled as quickly as we can. Because of this weather situation, the northern weather that's coming down, the governor declared a statewide emergency in all 254 counties in Texas. That was good news. That means there's more we can do because we have resources that indicated will be made available to us. One of the things we're doing is opening up cold shelters for folks that find themselves homeless, without homes on our streets. They've been activated and are activated tonight. Single adults in need of shelter should report to the Central Library here downtown at 710 West Cesar Chavez, 6 to 8 p.m. So get over there now and get in. Families in need of shelter should report to the Downtown Salvation Army Shelter, 501 East 8th Street, and get down there. They're planning on keeping these sheltering available for folks experiencing homelessness at least through Tuesday, and then they'll reevaluate. And there are discussions right now about how to extend that service so it's just not nighttime shelter, but it's daytime shelter as well, while conditions warrant that. And there should be news shortly how those conversations get resolved. Also discussing right now getting shelter out for people that have lost power, even though they have a home, but have no power in their home. So discussions right now on what we can do to help those folks in terms of sheltering. And hopefully there'll be some decision that follows from those discussions that will be made available shortly. Everybody else, know that it's supposed to be really cold, at least through Monday, maybe Tuesday. Be careful, look for ice, be prepared, check road conditions. You can sign up for alerts at Warn Central Texas .org. So I urge you to take a look at that. There you are, Warn Central Texas .org, and then you can get weather warnings. Let's talk about vaccines for just a second. Vaccines, incredibly frustrating for everybody because we're not getting them out fast enough. We don't have the supply. Again, I was on the phone today with folks in Washington in the administration. I think that there may be some good news to report with respect to finding additional supply, even from the main factories that have been producing them. That would be real good to increase supply. They're going to be pushing out more of the vaccine, getting it into local areas. We're pushing hard to get some direct distributions to entities like Austin Public Health. Certainly, there are now vaccines that are coming out more to grocery stores and to pharmacies. That's really good. It's good to get it to those people. But we know that those locations are not the most equitably placed. And we know that the people that are hit hardest by this, the essential workers, don't live on the west side of I-35, where most of those facilities are. That points to the crucial role of Austin Public Health in making sure that there's greater access in the communities hardest hit. We need to do a significantly better job in making sure that we get the vaccines out disproportionately to the people that are suffering the disproportionate impacts. To that end, we are beefing up the people that are associated with the nursing line. This is a line that you can call. Someone will help you actually register. If you don't have computers, can't get it done, help you get an appointment. If you don't have computers or can't get it done, there's the number, 512-972-5560. I also know that it's real hard to get through on that line. So we're increasing the capability and access of that line so that more people can get through. People that are going on 311, we're automatically getting referred to that nursing line, which was also increasing the volume of people doing that. So what's happening right now on 311 is rather than sending people just over to the nursing line, they're starting to take down the name, information, and phone number of people that are trying to get that assistance. They're then giving that name and phone number to the folks that are populating that nursing line. And within 24 hours, all those folks that call 311 will get a call back directly to them. So if you're unable to get through, go to 311, leave your information, and you'll get that. We've also established an equity line, Austin Public Health, working with Travis County, having special phone banks reaching out to Black and Latino populations to make sure that they have access to and can get vaccinated. There's an 80 plus age line. That's the one with Travis County Equity Line is Austin Public Health. The 80 plus years of age line with Travis County, contacting people over 80 to help sign them up for vaccines. Real important to get to that population, even though that population is disproportionately white. The fact that the folks that are living to be 80 are disproportionately white is a real concern in our community. The longevity and life expectancy for people white in our community significantly longer than populations that are Black or Latino. But those are the vulnerable people, and we're trying to extend to be able to get to that. We're reworking the facing of the website to make it more user-friendly. We're trying to build in functionalities so that people don't have to go to the line to get an appointment. You just get contacted with an email that assigns you an appointment. We're piloting that because we don't know. One, it'll make it easier to get an appointment because you just get an email. But when you are just given an appointment like that, or a choice between 2 or 3 appointments, whatever it is, the concern is that we'll have more people not showing up because the appointment won't be at a time that works, and they won't have indicated they can't take that time. And we need to get the vaccines out just as quickly as we can to as many people as we can. So we're piloting that right now to see if we can add that functionality to the system generally. So we'll let you know how all that goes. For those of you that have received your first dose with Austin Public Health and are concerned about second doses, know that the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, has released guidance that says that the second doses can be administered up to 6 weeks or 42 days after the first dose. Austin Public Health is ensuring that our second doses are ordered from the state so they can be given timely, as close to 28 days as we can, not waiting for the 42. We're going to continue to do that. Know that if you got a first dose with Austin Public Health, your second dose is there just for you. It's not going to be given to anybody else. Austin Public Health will reach out to you to schedule your appointment. So if you got a first dose and you haven't been reached out to by Austin Public Health, be patient. They will reach out to you. Know that your second dose is your second dose. The first doses that we get from the state, we got 12,000 more this week. We are not allowed to use those doses for people's second doses. Under the rules with the state, we will get second doses for those second dose people, and we're not allowed to use those for first dose people. So know that that's how that system works. Please be patient. Due to the limited supply of vaccine, Austin Public Health is not eligible to immediately provide appointments to everybody who is eligible. We still have a large percentage of our community over 80 years old that haven't gotten their vaccinations yet. So please continue to check the portal. Know that if you are currently not eligible in the system, but we've received your vaccine pre-registration, you should have gotten notice of that, then just chill. Because nothing's going to be happening in the system. I asked Austin Public Health to start sending out just a weekly email to everybody that just says, you're in the system, don't worry about having fallen off. But know that if you're not eligible at this point, there's no vaccine to be had. And if you are eligible, for most of those people, we have insufficient supplies at this point to actually get you a vaccine. So hang in there. Know that there is apparently more supply coming. Also, we're hearing that the end of the month, the new Johnson & Johnson vaccine is something that is going to be looked at, maybe get federal approval. If that comes, it'll be available. Know that we're going to have to get a lot more information about its efficacy, and we'll get a lot more as it goes through this federal process. The early indications are it's just one dose. It doesn't have to be kept super frozen like the Moderna and Pfizer that we're using now. It's just one dose. It might come to us in greater numbers so we can get it out to people more quickly than the other 2 doses. We've all read that the efficacy of the Johnson & Johnson is in the high 50%, whereas the Moderna and Pfizer we're giving out now are in the high 90%. We need to learn more about those numbers. As people are beginning to look at the numbers, I think what I'm being told is that they have about equal efficacy with respect to preventing people from dying and people from getting serious illness. But with the Johnson & Johnson, you might get flu-like symptoms where you might not get those at all with Moderna and Pfizer. And if that's the trade-off, then some people may very well choose to get the Johnson & Johnson earlier rather than waiting longer for the Moderna and the Pfizer. My hope is that in our community, we would be given a choice. The information and data also seems to indicate that while it starts out in the mid-50s right after you get the vaccination with the Johnson & Johnson, with a period of time, that protection continues to rise. And after several weeks after taking that vaccination, it's looking like the efficacy may also be up to the 90%. We're also looking apparently at Johnson & Johnson and coming up with a second shot booster. So who knows what eventually is going to happen here. Let me take a look at the questions that are in the chat line right now to see if there's something that somebody raises that might be something that a question I can answer. Doesn't look like we have any questions that haven't been answered. I want to wish everybody a happy Lunar New Year. We're wishing Austin a happy and prosperous one. In the Chinese zodiac, 2021, this year is the year of the ox, which symbolizes honesty and diligence. Certainly something that we'll all need more of this year as we work with each other to come out of the virus. You know, celebrations for the Lunar New Year may very well be different this year than in prior years, but know that we wish everybody a safe and joyful festivity. Please stay warm. Please don't travel on our roads if you can avoid it. Be safe and stay warm. We're up to the weekend. Have a good one. Good night and be safe.